What's up, everybody? Oh, you can see me now, yeah? Everyone can see me? What's up, everyone? I can't see myself, so I've got no idea right now what is going on, but I am glad that you can all see me. Welcome to another stream. Just confirm for me that we are on and we're working. But yeah, I can't see what's going on, but I'm glad you all can. Alrighty then, guys. Let's get into this week's live stream. All right, having a look at S&P 500 here, we're getting a little pullback here on the S&P 500. Let's jump to the 4 hour, take a look at it there. Just before this resistance here, looking pretty bullish, just with that, you know, obviously positive shock in the rate increase. Rates only went up 25 basis points instead of 50. So that's caused a bit of bullish momentum here on the S&P 500. We also had some bullish moves on Bitcoin as well. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Everything working? Yes, yep. Just reload the current page. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for confirming for me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at BTC. We had a bit of a rally yesterday in BTC, and this is beginning to look like now the start of a little uptrend here, right? Bulls are looking a little bit groovy. You know, this is not the same move as that right there. It's not the same move as that right there. It's actually the start of some higher lows and some higher highs forming in this market. A genuine march to the upside. You know, these previous moves over here were just, you know, basically just, you know, incredibly volatile, I guess, like, just grabbing liquidity, just squeezing out shorts, you know, squeezing out shorts and then dumping it back down again. And you can see just how choppy it's been for so long. And now we've got, you know, a little bit of a march to the upside that looks a little bit genuine. So that's great for BTC bulls, but as always, you know, we're in a sideways market right now, and you can see the way RTD is in this market. It's just chopping back and forward. 37,500 is still absolutely on the cards for BTC, without a doubt. Okay, just because we've got this like little short-term move to the upside here, and we've got the local beginning to cross over the global, doesn't mean that out of the woods yet on this market. Throw some questions in the chat as well, guys. I'd love to answer your questions. I'm seeing a bunch of new names here. Furious, welcome. Chidan, welcome. Bob, Roman, Martin. How are we all doing today, guys? Great to have you all here. Some new names in there as well. So if you are new to Breakfree Trading and you have questions, even if you are not new to Breakfree Trading and you have questions, please throw them into the chat for me, and I will get to those questions ASAP for you all, all right? So, while we're here, we're going to have a look at the VIX as well and see what's going on the VIX. I spoke about entering into like this bounce area here, okay? So we're in an area where VIX could absolutely bounce now, and we are seeing a bit of downside now on the S&P 500. So when VIX opens, because I don't think this is actually opened quite yet, let me just look at the one-day time frame. 22nd, yeah. So that's the candle from the 22nd. So great chance of VIX, bit of a bounce here, okay? What's up? Hello, Carlston. Great to have you here. Glad you are part of the funding program now, Carlston. Welcome aboard, mate. Antonio says he still doesn't see anything. Just reload the page, Antonio. Question, in your experience, which time frame of Sonar are the most profitable in Forex payers, major and minors? One day time frame. One day time frame for sure, Furious. One day time frame has the highest win rates of the time frames, okay? So absolutely 1 day time frame, and then 4 hour, and then 1 hour 15 minutes, you know, drops off a little bit, but there's still really good opportunities on 1 hour and 15 minute. And the great thing about 1 hour and 15 minute is that you've got extension trades available to you there as well, right? You don't see extension trades playing out on the 1 day and the 4 hour time frames very often at all. I mean, it's incredibly rare to see that, but you do see them playing out a lot, especially on the 15-minute time frame, and you even see them on the 1 day as well. And extension trades are really, really great positions, right? Really great trades to take. So 1 day time frame is absolutely your best bet for highest win rate. But you know, don't be afraid to try out lower time frames as you get more confident with what we're doing here at Breakfree Trading, okay? How do you read market structure? When is it officially an uptrend? Yeah, sure. So right now you can see, if we start from say, okay, so you can see here our trend algorithm is the RTD. So this is kind of our eyeball, just like quick take a look and see what the trend is doing immediately, right? So right now, basically, RTD is telling me it's a sideways trend. And when I eyeball that, I'm seeing this price action all through here, which is absolutely sideways. This is not trending up. This is not trending down. This is a range. This is a sideways moving market, okay? So more or less, I'm just identifying that we are ranging between here, this X mode level, this resistance, and this support on X mode, okay? And I can just see that the market is bouncing between that support area and that resistance area. So this is one really great thing to do with X mode as well, that you can mark out, okay, we've got resistance here in that zone, and we have support here in that zone. And right now, the market is not trending up, breaking resistance, and that forming into support, and then breaking resistance and forming support, and breaking resistance, forming support, that is an uptrending market, right? That structure signifies to me an uptrending market. When we're breaking resistance levels, they then begin acting as a support level, and the market continues onto the upside, continuing to break resistance and create new support levels. But what we're seeing here is not that happening at all, right? We're seeing this market actually respect resistance at the top of a range and respect support at the bottom of the range. Now, for this to be trending in either an uptrend or a downtrend, we would need to see either the support break and then that to start acting as resistance and so on and so forth, or the resistance break and that start acting as support and so on and so forth, okay? Now, this is the 1 day time frame, but as we move down, we know in our mind that we're on a ranging market on the 1 day time frame, and as we begin to move down, we can see that starts to change, okay? So as we move down to say the 15-minute time frame, for example, we might have a very different perspective on this market, okay? So when we look at this here, what we can see is we mark out, well, where has this market, you know, what has been important to this market in the past, and we can use X mode levels to very quickly identify those things. So marking out those important X mode levels like that, and what we can see is this market breaks resistance, tests it as support, okay, resistance forms, breaks resistance, tests it acts as support, breaks resistance, tests it acts as support. This is an uptrending market, and we can see it's an uptrending market immediately by looking at the local RTD and be able to see, okay, well, since that point right there, this market has been uptrending, okay? And that's why we have two RTDs, and then we combine them together to get an understanding of macro, what's going on. And then we can also see in the short term what the local is showing us as well, all right? So that's how you can kind of correlate the market structure and the breaking of support, breaking of resistance and that forming into support, along with the RTD at the same time. Hello, Steve. How you doing? CK, I'm finally in. Gosh, the number of refreshes. Yeah, super weird. I don't know what's going on with YouTube right now, but I can't even see a playback of what's going on the screen right now. So I'm kind of just flying blind at the moment. But, yeah, weird. Just refresh. Okay, cool. Cool. Hey, Steve. Hey, Eric's only seeing the banner. Hopefully he sees my messages there. Why wouldn't you want to trade this range? Let's have a look here. Okay. So this range right here, what we've got is we've got market. The market is forming lower highs. You can see that very clearly. Lower highs and higher lows at the same time here. Now, when a market forms lower highs and higher lows at the same time, basically we've got a market that's consolidating and squeezing together. Have you ever heard of a short squeeze or a long squeeze? If you've ever heard of a short squeeze or a long squeeze, this is the textbook setup for a short or a long squeeze. All right. Now, as this market consolidates, and you can see X mode just nailing the areas that it's consolidating between, but as this market consolidates, what happens is the shorts all believe they're right. So more and more short liquidity gets put in through here, and more short stop losses from short positions come all through here. And the longs also obviously think they're all right. So a bunch of stop losses get put in all through there. Yeah. Now, if we look back in the past at a similar type of situation, we've got this right here, okay? where this market squeezed together, RTD became incredibly choppy, and then it just like busted to the downside really hard and then popped straight back to the upside again. We go back and look at this period of time here as well, back in 2017. Yet again, RTD gets incredibly choppy, squeezing, and then just a squeeze to the downside right here, okay? So, why don't we trade this range when it looks like that? Because we don't know which way this is going to squeeze. And again, okay, we've got this situation right here. Very similar. Consolidating, squeezing, and then busted to the upside in this case. But we have no bias right now. There's absolutely no bias for us to trade around, so this could just rip hard up or it just could rip hard down. And if we don't know our bias and we don't know which direction we're swinging the bat, we don't know which direction the wind is blowing, then what we're doing is we're just taking a guess up or down. All right? And that's just a gamble up or down. You may as well go to the roulette table, and go black or red on the roulette table, right? It's more or less the exact same thing, okay? And you could very easily pick a direction, get stopped out, and the market still move in that direction, right? The market could do this very easily. Pop to the upside like that, and then dump it down like that, for example, right? And you might have been long, and you might have been like, oh yes, I picked the direction right, profit, dump it down, take stop loss. So that's why you don't trade, that's why we don't trade, being trend following traders, this type of market, because it's not clear which direction we need to swing the bat. Therefore, we're just taking a punt, taking a gamble. That's it. Roman, cool, thank you. I want to start using BFT in the next month or so. Great decision, Roman. We've been really quiet with updates lately, everybody. We recognize we've been quiet with updates, not a lot of updates coming out, but the next update is game changing, completely game changing. All right, so the next update is going to be a complete change in more or less everything. Okay, everything. So bear that in mind, that there's a huge update coming to Breakfree Trading. All right, massive. Trying to understand how it works. Great. Well, join on these live streams until you know exactly how it works. Steve with his clicking thing here. CK, wow. I witnessed pound AUD sonar hit TP1. X mode nailed it. Pound AUD 15 minutes. Let's take a look. 15-minute time frame. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, so in one candlestick, literally just tapped our first entry, took TP1 right there. One candlestick. I call that free money. I call that free money right there. All right. One candlestick, tap it, dump. And the great thing about this one here is it kind of got confirmed earlier that this level was important by that bearish engulfing candle right there. So it gave us a lot more conviction to be able to take this trade, even though the next market structure is really up there. We did have that bearish engulfing candle that came in here to, kind of confirm that the level was in fact important to this market. So curious on update right now. I know I'm a bit of a tease, but you'll just have to wait for now, okay? You just have to wait. I know I'm a bit of a tease. But yeah, it's gonna be great. Great to see you here, by the way, Paula. Thank you again for joining. It's great to see you still around using Breakfree Trading. So awesome to see you here. Okay, guys, everybody, guys, gals, everyone, throw in some trades you want to take a look at. I'm going to start scrolling through the sonar here, checking out what's going on. You know what I haven't actually checked in a while? ETH USDT. ETH. I just sometimes think of ETH as just like just going to follow BTC. Yeah, more or less following BTC. Yeah. Pretty much the same thing here. You know, you remember that price action on BTC? Basically the same thing's happening here in ETH. Squeezing together. All right. Very, very similar price action on ETH. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Just crypto in general is going to be completely dictated in the short term by what happens here on BTC. Whether we break up or whether we break down, in the short term, the entire crypto market is holding their breath for basically what happens here. That or that. All right. And if it breaks down, it's going to be bloody. There's going to be a bloody mess, okay? There's so much leverage, all these kind of crazy things using NFTs as collateral. This is a highly leveraged up market with really like unsecured debt, in some cases, under collateralized debt, things like that. So if this pushes down, it could be very bloody, okay? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be buying and holding something like BTC for the long term. All right, just in the short term, if it breaks down, it could be difficult before forming some sort of a bottom and then absolutely ripping to the upside. Okay, when there's like unfavorable things happening in a market, like things like excessive amounts of debt, excessive amounts of leverage, things like that, that type of shakeout is actually really important to just reset the market to kind of what it should look like without the high levels of debt, without the high levels of leverage, so that then it can make its next move to the upside, okay? Sometimes those type of moves are actually really healthy pullbacks in a market that's so dictated by retail trading, high levels of leverage, and, you know, really unsupervised trading conditions. So don't be afraid of that type of thing when you are investing in something like BTC, right? XMR USD. Yeah, XMR. Is this XMR? Is this XMR Stellar? Is this Stellar? That's some strange price action. Wow. What happened here? 75% in like a couple of days, this dumped? Wow, that is crazy. What a blow off top here. Look at this. When was this? May 2021. Look at that there. 75% in like the space of under 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. It just absolutely nuked Monero. Monero. Okay. Monero has been around for ages. I remember when I first got into crypto, Monero was a thing. You know, I don't really trust this market at all. Look, if you're looking for, yeah, I mean, you could buy this, right? You could buy this. It's a reasonable stop loss. I'd probably put my TP1 a little bit higher, somewhere up there, if I was taking it. So my trade would probably be something like this. If I was taking it, where my TP1 would be around that level right there. In general, like, yeah, you could take it, okay? We're starting to form a bit of upside, but this market is just obviously, like, just a nuts market, like, almost, like, very low liquidity market or something. That's a 43% candle right there. That candle moved 43% in one day. That is just craziness. So be prepared. A move like that crushes you and stops you out. So you could take this, just make sure you're managing your risk like an absolute pro, okay? But I don't really like the idea of it until BTC moves into a bit of an uptrend in general. So, yeah. I think pound yen 1 day isn't interesting because of market jumping that high. Yeah, the market did move kind of high. But that's very aggressive, that entry right there, you know? And again, like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the idea? The thesis is target 162,500, target a new all-time high. I mean, these are the times when it's like, oh no, it's not a new all-time high. It's just a new recent high since 2016. Market hasn't been up in these areas since 2016, okay? So, could it work? Yeah, it could work. It's been there back in 2016, sure. What's probably more likely is it comes back down and finds some support down there somewhere again. That's what, in my mind, is more likely. Probably finding support somewhere here or finding support somewhere there is where I would probably see support coming in. This is a very aggressive trade. All right, this is quite aggressive. Could it continue? Could continue, sure. However, if we continue to see uncertainty from the broader macroeconomic perspective, then we're likely to see downward moves here because yen is going to act like a safe haven type asset in that particular case. So do you think the price action on US 31 hour is a sign of capitulation and could perhaps watch for a long on hard end on US 31 hour? Oh. I picked Euro USD. There we go. 1 hour. Overall, this is still a downtrend. I'm not advocating a long position in this market while in a downtrend. This level has acted quite nicely in the past. Bullish engulfing candle right there. You could see a short-term bounce from that. You could. But let's just zoom out a little bit further. Let's jump to the 1 day time frame. Yeah, I mean, that has a lot of confluence on the 1 day time frame as well. So it's a really nice level. I like the level. The only thing I don't like is that we're still in a downtrend. Macro, we're very clearly in a downtrend. And you've got to be mindful that this here could be that right there. It could be that right there. And it could just tear straight through it, right? Like, this price action here could be that price action there, could be that price action there, just happening again. In which case, you're going to get stopped out. Absolutely. So, for me, I wouldn't trade against the bias in this particular situation. I'm not going to advocate trading against the bias like that, all right? But I can see your point in that bullish engulfing, good level of structure there, nice level that has really been confluence across the board. 34,375 is, it's not a round number, but it's an important number nonetheless, right? It's an important number nonetheless. And you can see the way the market has respected that level before in the past. So I can see your point here, okay? I just still wouldn't have conviction trading against the trend like that. Because you also got to remember that it could punch all the way through back to there into this area of structure as well, right? All right, guys. All right. Everybody, throw your questions in the chat. Please get them in there. I would love to hear from you. If you are new to Breakfree Trading, say hello. If you are a long-term member of Breakfree Trading, let me know how long you've been part of Breakfree Trading for as well. We've got some good attendance at this stream today, so thank you all for joining. Let me know what you want to hear about. We had an excellent price action session in our funding session last night. So for those of you who don't know, every Tuesday, nighttime for me, whatever time it is for everyone else in the world, but Tuesdays we do a stream, or it's a Zoom call with the funding traders, or all the traders that are a part of the funding program. We had a great session on price action last night. CK was there, Paula was there, we had Warren there, Antonio there, all of the crew, and we had a really good session on price action. Talked about what to look for, what not to look for. So if you are part of the funding group, you haven't watched that yet, I've sent out the link. Make sure that you have a look at that session. It was a really valuable session to everyone involved. So make sure you check that out. And if you're not part of the funding program, Carlston just joined today. So Carlston, you have that in that link that I sent you as well. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out as well. But if you're not part of the funding group, then you can get at funding.breakfreetrading.com. You can join the funding sessions, get a funded account, and you get a bit of subscription as well, 3 months of subscription. So funding.breakfreetrading.com for that. Let's Breakfree People. Breakfree People. Love the name, by the way. Love the name. Wow, this is... What is going on? What is this message? I think you had caps lock on. Tom, do you think applying smart money concepts in confluence with X mode and RTD can create a solid strategy? Sorry for the capital letters. I'm gonna watch it again from Paul. I've been with BFT for almost a year. Awesome. So smart money concepts, right? I've got no idea what you're... I have a general gist of smart money concepts, but I've never really implemented it into my own trading. I guess it's like... I honestly, I have no idea what that is. I guess smart money basically buys low and sells high. Dumb money sells low and buys high. So I think these are just buzzwords that someone has created. I don't know that smart money concepts is necessarily something that is a really smart money thinks about. Because you got to remember, I come from a background of managing people's money, so technically I was the smart money in the past, and I've never heard in the circles that I used to move around with fund managers and all sorts of things, the idea of smart money concepts. But I have heard the idea of, okay, this market is very low, very depressed, we like the thesis, we're gonna buy that. Okay, that's a concept that a smart money operator thinks around. Okay, yeah. Other than the Academy tab on the navigator, is there anything to guide on how to use X mode? Yeah, there's a bunch of videos on this YouTube channel. So one of probably the best X mode videos is trading high confluence levels on the S&P 500 that I did. And there's another really good X mode one that is trading high confluence levels on the US 30, which Patrick did. So you can dig through the YouTube videos, and we talk about X mode all the time in these. Yeah. Can you speak to an issue I'm having with Navigator? The legacy feed works, but not the Sonar feed. Sonar says no data found. This here? Legacy works for you, but new Sonar doesn't. I would clear the session. So come up here, click clear session, and that should solve your problem. Okay, Carlston? Okay, liquidity and Wyckoff schematics. Yeah, okay, so cool. Yeah, Wyckoff, for sure. The general concept of areas of accumulation, areas of distribution, and areas of expansion definitely works well when you're looking at the X mode perspective. So yeah, definitely Wyckoff schematics for sure. You can implement those into your understanding of X mode. I do the same thing as well. I've spoken about this at the funding sessions too. Finding areas of accumulation, finding areas of distribution, and finding areas, the areas of expansion as well, right? So yeah, Wyckoff for sure works very well. And in terms of liquidity, identifying places where, the broader market has their stop losses placed. I talk about this too a bunch, especially in these live streams, talking about, well, where are all the stop losses right now? Where are all the stop losses right now? And where does the market need to go in order to take those stop losses out? Usually when you notice like equal lows or equal highs being formed, typically there's a bunch of stop losses on either side of them, and the market will generally go and find that liquidity. But yeah, so when you put it like that, yeah, I know what you mean, and yes, definitely. Okay, cool. Antonio, I got into XAG USD about a week ago, but I'm very tempted to get out at break even because of the consolidation on the level. Yeah, let's take a look. XAG, so you've been in a long position on the 1 day time frame. Bit choppy around the level, you're right, yeah. I'd be really interested to see how this candle closes, actually. I'd be really interested to see how this plays out, this candlestick here. So if this candlestick closes below the level, I'd probably jump out at break even. But it actually doesn't look as bad as gold. It doesn't look as bad as gold in terms of gold being like a real blow off top. And we probably could, like, TP1 is not unreasonable in this particular situation. But as a rule of thumb, what I always say, as a rule of thumb, is... What I always say as a rule of thumb is if you feel some kind of way about the trade, if you don't like something about the trade, it's much better to go with that. Trust yourself, be decisive, make the decision to get out at break even, because if you don't and it goes to your stop loss, you're going to be sitting there going like, well, the reason why it hit my stop loss was because I wasn't decisive. I couldn't make a decision when I knew what I actually had to do, right? So you can always just get out at break even right now if you feel uncomfortable. When the market gets back up here, get it back on the retest. Easy, easy. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, just close the bloody trade. Just close it if you're feeling uncomfortable, right? If you're feeling uncomfortable with this price action that's happening around that level. Refresh this page. Okay, say I'm away from keyboard while navigator is open and I get disconnected for being away for X minutes. Is this normal? Like it logs you out, or it disconnects you from your broker, or it does disconnect from the broker sometimes if you're like just inactive for a very long time. But I'm not sure about getting logged out though. No, I don't think so. not logging you out, but yeah, it will disconnect from the broker sometimes if you are away and are inactive for a very long time. Do you think it will pump? Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Let's just compare this to Mr. Goldrock. So the Goldrock trade was around here, right? And I mentioned this one in the live stream yesterday, the funding session yesterday. How different, like, look at how this price action does look very different. Like, it's really dislocated from just like where this market was operating in the past. It really moved significantly away from that. Whereas the market's still operating in this kind of area here, right? It's not so far away from the normal operating conditions of this market. Yeah, it will disconnect your broker if you're just not active for a period of time. Sometimes it will do that. Yes. So you can just refresh or something and it should reconnect. Cool. Alrighty then, guys. Get any other questions in. I'm gonna stop the stream in around probably 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less, depending on the number of questions that we get in that time. I'm happy to go longer if there's like a ton of questions and stuff that just all of a sudden flood in. But I really appreciate you all coming today, guys. And remember, please go to the global chat. And participate in the BFT lessons. All right, participate in the BFT lessons. Post your best lesson that you've learned being part of BFT. Could be anything to do with trading, mindset, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Success in general, whatever it is. Your best lesson you've learned with BFT. Post it. Hashtag BFT lessons. You go into the draw to win a $10,000 funding account and $100. There'll be 5 people that win a 10K funding account. If you've already got a funding account, sweet. You will be good to go, and you can have another one. If you don't have a funding account, you get a funding account and you get $100. So make sure you post your best BFT lesson in the global chat there. All right, everybody, please. Because it looked better than XAU. Yeah, XAG did look better than XAU for sure. That was just like a textbook blow off top there. Tom, just a curiosity, how many trades do you take on average per month? Very few, actually. Very few. I probably only take like a couple of trades a week maximum. So, you know, on average would be between 4 and 8 trades a month maximum. Like, I don't see that many opportunities. But yeah, probably closer to like 4 trades a month. What I really like to do is I like trading S&P 500. I really like trading S&P 500 when I've got a really clear thesis. And I usually trade it on like a swing trades on a higher time frame. Sometimes I'll jump a little bit lower if I feel like I can get some more risk to reward from a lower time frame, or I really like, say, an extension trade on the 15 minutes, something like that. I don't take many trades at all, but you got to remember, like, very few trades really well placed, making small percentage gains on big accounts is much, much more valuable than taking a shitload of trades and try, like, there's like, it's very valuable to take just a few really well placed trades than take a shitload of trades, especially when you're trading like bigger accounts, right? Your view on EJ, should get in long for 4 hour at round N. gosh, this is a... Oh, yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Bear in mind that we could push through to somewhere here. I could see it pushing through to there, but depending on how much you're trying to chew off on this trade, something like that wouldn't be too unreasonable, in my opinion. But you do have to be mindful that we could come down to an area somewhere around here as well, right? Probably around that support or like a little bit higher than that. So I don't actually hate the idea, but oh, now I zoom out a little bit. It does look a bit rangy. Yeah, I would actually, having zoomed out now, I'd probably not jump into that super quickly. Hey, Jake. Jake, great to have you here, mate. Jake, Parker, great member of BFT. Great to have you back in the live stream, mate. Hey, Tom, first live in ages, just caught up on yesterday's funding video and used the lesson to catch TP on NZD CAD 15 minutes. Let's take a look at NZD CAD 15-minute time frame that Jake just caught a TP on. This here, perhaps? Maybe. Oh, I guess there was a TP. Was it a sonar trade maybe? Let's look. Hey, okay. Yes. Yeah, probably just caught TP1 here. Entry TP1. Perfect. 2 thumbs up. Well done, Jake. Love it. Well done, man. Great to have you on the stream as well. Thank you for joining. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all for joining. Great stream today. Awesome stream. Great to have you all here. I thought we got a lot talked about, answered a lot of questions. Appreciate you all joining as always. If you got any final questions, I will hang on for another 2 minutes. Please throw them in the chat right now. Any final questions, 2 minutes, and then I will sign off from the stream, and I'll let you guys get back to the rest of your day. Riding on Eric's. Riding on Eric's suggestion, Tom, do you think UJ works better on 1 hour time frame? We've got a trade here. We got actually a sonar trade here on the 1 hour time frame. I like this. You know, you were part of the session yesterday, CK. So we have the consolidation high up. I want to see a quick dump into this level and a bounce straight off it. Probably something similar to what Jake just showed us on NZD CAD is what I would probably expect the price action to look like on this market right here. So this here, what maybe doesn't need to extend so far, but this, like, when you catch the volatility, tight TPs, just bang, 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 in, out. Okay? We need to get the big candles in for the quick pop to the upside, right? If it grinds down, little candles, little candles, little candles, little candles, little candles, not going to probably end pretty. It's a risk, but that's the type of thing you're looking for, like what happened on NZD CAD, okay? That's the one. Sorry, I'm a few minutes behind. Was tight TP for sure. No worries, mate. No worries. Great to have you here. Thanks for pointing that one out. It's a, yeah, tight TP, quick bounce. Love it. Free money. Hey, Tom, please review XAU Euro on the daily. This is the last one I'm going to do, guys. XAU Euro on the daily time frame. We'll check that out, and then I'm going to sign off. That's the 1 hour time frame. Let's jump on the 1 day. Yeah, it looks very similar to XAU USD. Consolidating right in this area right now. Okay, so we could see some upside here on gold, on precious metals. We could see some further upside here in the short term, especially considering everything that's happening with inflation. The Fed really didn't do enough to curb inflation at all. So there is a chance we see a bit of a pop to the upside. What I don't like is, just as much as I don't like how dislocated XAU USD was from the rest of the market structure before we looked at, I don't like how dislocated this is from the rest of the market structure. All right. When I look at this, it kind of looks like it's a really strong dislocation, and you can see what happens when the market dislocates like that from the market structure in the past. So that's what I kind of don't love about it. I could see this type of price action playing out again on this market. If you just kind of look at that price action there, something similar looking kind of move to the downside, similar relative distance before maybe finding some support, perhaps here or perhaps a little bit higher, maybe 75% alignment level in there is where the support gets found, and then continues on to the upside. All right, so it's just a little bit far away from like the market structure for me, and it's chopping through the level as well, but you know, fundamentally, gold could continue to rally. Gold rock could continue to rally for sure. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Hopefully that answers all your questions. Thank you once more for joining. I really appreciate it. Great stream. And make sure you get your hashtag BFT lesson into the global chat. Win $100. Win a funding account. Got nothing to lose. So throw your best lesson, please, into that. We'll pick top 10, and then I think we're voting on the top 3 after that. So, guys, or top 5 or whatever it is. I think maybe it's top 3. But, guys, thank you very much for joining the stream. Adios, everybody.